The difference between healthy weight loss and just regular old weight loss is two totally different things. Healthy weight loss, they're talking about fat loss. Now they're talking about an average of 1 to 2 pounds per week. Now, when you're talking about healthy weight loss, that could cover several different things because if you're morbidly obese like I was at 435 pounds, you can lose a lot of water weight in an incredible amount of time. Actually, I lost about 50 pounds in the first week doing a 5-day water fast. Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to this incredible weight loss journey I'm on. I am John at Big Man Alaska. I'm the one that runs this channel, and I've been doing an incredible weight loss journey. And I just wanted to invite you along and introduce myself, as I haven't introduced myself in the past for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just haven't. But here I am. Yep, my name's John, Big Man Alaska. Now you can put 2 to 2 together, and let's get on with the video. So in the last 2 weeks, I did several food experiments. I did one last week just so I could have a really nice gap. And one of these food experiments did contain, actually 2 of its food experiments contained fast food. And yeah, some might be shaking their head a little bit like, what are you doing eating fast food? But anyways, it's like I said, it's an experiment, and everything about all of this is an experiment. So the one food experiment I did was last week, and I lost 3.3 pounds that week. So if you like supporting morbidly obese people doing a weight loss journey, please subscribe to the channel. I could always use your help, and I appreciate all the comments down below. And don't forget to hit that notification bell if you're interested and you want to hear my next upload. I've come to find out over a period of time that I have an eating disorder. I was completely unaware that I even had an eating disorder until I started listening to some other people talking about their weight loss issues, and then something clicked in my head. These things would have never clicked in my head, I don't believe, without doing Carnivore. Carnivore has really opened my mind up to some possibilities, and it's also helped me think clearer, communicate better, do a better job at work. I mean, I feel better when I go to work every day just in general, and that's really what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to feel better, get our life back from a long, long time of just doing the wrong things. Now, typically this problem with our weight, it doesn't go away overnight. So we have to be realistic about our expectations. Now, some weeks we're going to do great. Other weeks we're not going to do anything at all. And some weeks we might just go flat backwards. We just don't know. And it's just how our body reacts to what we're doing during the week. But one thing I do know throughout this process is that if you slack off on the process and you decide to eat a bunch of unhealthy snacks or just go out and just do whatever, eat a bunch of pasta, things aren't going to work like you want, and you're not going to be able to say, well, I tried this, I tried that, now this isn't going to work for me because it's just not my kind of lifestyle. Well, you didn't even give it a chance, or I didn't even give it a chance. That was my problem. That was my problem all these years, is I kept trying things and I was just automatically saying, oh, well, that's not going to work. Now, sustainability, that's the biggest thing here. I've tried several different things all my life, from exercising, going to workout, running, biking, jogging, climbing mountains, doing all kinds of random extracurricular activities. Well, with a daily work life, a busy work life, and a family and children, you tend to fall off of that really quickly because you have other responsibilities. Children are getting sick. Other family members are getting sick. You have to take care of them. That slows you down. Messes are made. We're going to have to clean up the dishes here before long. We're going to have to vacuum the house, take the dog out, scoop the poop. You see what I'm getting at? And that doesn't even include all the issues that we have at work. When we go to work, it takes us away from the house. Many of us sit down at our jobs. That's what we do these days, is we like to either sit down at our jobs, sit at a computer desk, or we're literally in a truck driving around. A lot of people do other various types of driving jobs, and that's not very physically active. So we need to figure out, okay, how do we lose weight with this little bit of exercise? And it is possible. It's proven to be possible, and I've proven that in my playlist of losing weight in Alaska, and you can find that on my channel just by clicking my image. All right, so this last week, I lost 3.3 pounds last week. That's pretty good. And that's the week I did a food experiment. I did a pretty safe food experiment that week because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to really manipulate the numbers of my weight loss at all to go up or down. It was just a food experiment to see if I could get the same results that I thought I was getting from a previous time where I ate this specific food. So we're going to dive right on in to the morning weigh-in. And of course, I got my cat Gray Bear. That's my dog Sadie there. Yeah, she's been a good dog. She's about 80-something years old in dog years. And, oh, there's always surprises on the floor. Kick it out of the way. Move my wife's glasses off the scale. Yeah. And of course, I have my daughter sleeping here on the couch. Let's get the scale down and set up. Oh my goodness, there's more stuff here. All right, let's get that up out of the way. Get the scale zeroed out. Get a better weight on there. This is always interesting in the morning. You never know what you're going to find. All right, we're looking at a total weight loss of 307.3. We could call it 2. We're just going to call it 307.3 for the week. And we're going to work with those numbers from there. Last week I lost 3.3 pounds, and that was with the food experiment. Now this week, let's see. All right, last week's weight was 308.6 pounds. This week was 307.3 pounds. That's a total weight loss this week of 1.3 pounds this week. I'm not upset with that number. It's not very much, but I'm not upset with that number. I'm still getting closer to that 300-pound mark to make me regular obese for my BMI, body mass index, whatever that scale page graph means. I don't know. But anyhow, okay, I started off the weight loss journey. I was 435 pounds. That was when I got the weight loss journey started. That wasn't when I started carnivore. I started doing this weight loss journey with a series of fastings, intermittent fastings, 24-hour fastings, different food experiments that I tend to do along the way. And just because I tend to get bored with the same old routine, and I want to mix things up a little bit. I want to confuse my body. I want to confuse my system at times. And on other days, I deliberately try to take myself out of ketosis because I believe that the body isn't meant to stay in perpetual ketosis forever, but that's just my opinion, and I came up with that opinion a long time ago. I don't know if it works better. I don't know if it doesn't work better, but like I said, this is all an experiment. But I started off at 435 before I started losing any weight at all. Actually, I was probably over 435. But anyhow, 435 minus 307.3, that's a total weight loss in 29 weeks of 127.7 pounds. Now, that's just 29 weeks ago. I'm still happy with that number. Don't knock my camera over. Okay. Let's see. When I started carnivore, now carnivore came like way in the process of me trying to lose weight. Now that was 3 months ago when I started carnivore. So let's try not to get the numbers confused. I know I don't do a very good job at explaining things at times, but I'm in a pinch. I'm just trying to get these videos out to you guys, and I have to do it in a very short amount of time. I get Saturday and Sunday off. Sometimes I don't even get that off. So I have to really condense everything that I want to get out to you down. And just recording takes quite a while. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what I lost while doing carnivore. Let's see. I started carnivore at 335.6 pounds. Let's see. This week I'm at 307.3 pounds. That is a total weight loss. Just experimenting around with carnivore, KetoVore, keto type eating. And that got me down to 28.3 pounds in 3 months. That's some pretty good numbers for just starting this 3 months ago. And this has been my primary focus. It's taken me a while to try to figure out carnivore, figure out some of the deficiencies when it comes to vitamins and nutrients and stuff like that, because I had to do several workarounds to figure that out. I mean, you got to eat liver. There's some fruits and vegetables that will help you along the way. And that's another thing is I'm 3 months in, I'm still having fruit cravings. So once in a while, I mean, I'll just be gorging on a freaking watermelon, and it's just, yay, it feels great. Everything moves out the other end just fine. And then I had to start adding things like butter and other fats like bacon grease and just, lard and stuff like that into my cooking. And I just wasn't used to doing that. So it takes a lot of transitioning, and I'm not even there yet. This is 3 months in. The transition I couldn't even call it complete because, like I said, the fruit cravings are there. And then when I do specific other things, it starts making me crave other things. That's not that great. So that means the transition is definitely not complete 3 months in. So I'm just going to have to keep working on with the progress of it. And I'm also going to have to learn some more new workarounds and tricks and stuff like that. Now, for the majority of us doing carnivore, we can't just go out and buy expensive steaks all the time. We can't afford ribeyes. We can't afford tomahawks like the famous tomahawk guy on the internet. And that's all done for show. That's just showing off to everybody like, hey, look at me. I can afford this food and you can't. Ha ha ha. And that's just, I don't like that. I don't like it when I watch somebody and I'm just automatically like, boy, I wish I could be like you. Well, then I look back at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I don't want to be like him. I want to be myself. I'm the guy that eats 80-20 patties just to try to make this work. Well, I'm just going to sit there and blindly follow these guys. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they do. When I see how they act on camera at times, it just doesn't impress me very much. They do have a lot of good information. They are there for a reason. But the show-off aspects just drive me up the wall. And I do follow some of these guys, but I just don't focus all of my education around carnivore on them. I focus on the smaller channels. I focus on the people that are struggling. The people who are actually still overweight, because guess what? We're there. We're not forgetting where we came from. So, okay, what were the foods that I ate this week? Yeah, I like to eat a lot of 80-20 burger patties. Now, when I make my burger patties, I typically make them 3 at a time. I have a nice fancy little ceramic kind of cast ironware. I can fit 3 patties in there. I might put a little bit of bacon grease in the bottom of the pan, and then I'll put some cheese on top. I will season them, salt, pepper, garlic powder, maybe some onion powder. That tastes amazing. And then I'll top them off with some cheese. Sometimes 2 slices of cheese per patty, depending on what it is. It's Colby Jack or Monterey Jack cheese has been my favorite lately. Now, cheddar cheese and sharp cheddar cheese, I'm kind of staying away from that stuff. I don't know why. I like it. I still eat it at times. But then I'll top those off with some butter. I'll top them off with some butter. And the butter is just some extra fat to help things glide through. And that makes things pretty nice. Now, I also like snacking on things like bacon. And if I have a craving, the 2 things that I go to primarily, if I have a serious craving, it's going to be hard-boiled eggs. And then I'm going to go to, if I have a sweet cravings, something I use is dill pickles. Dill pickles are 0 calorie. There's no sugar in most dill pickles. Now you're going to have to read the recipe, on the back of the label, because if you're at this point or you're just getting started, we really seriously need to be flipping these packages around and reading these labels, seeing what's in this stuff. Is this something that we want? Is this something that's going to slow us down? Is this something we're going to forgive? Because I do tend to forgive some ingredients like natural sugar in my sauces. So if I have a little bit of natural sugar in my barbecue sauce, I'm going to add a tablespoon of that. And typically the calories of my particular sauce, which is a Kinder's brand barbecue sauce, it's only going to be maybe 120 calories because I'm only using 3 tablespoons of it. And that is some sugar. Now, last night was something I found interesting. As I was eating my patties, I was realizing my palate wasn't liking the overall sweetness of the Kinder's barbecue sauce. It was too sweet. And it wasn't because it had high fructose in it. It has all natural sugar, which is the way sweeteners should be if they're going to be sweetened at all, because at least that way we have a way to, balance out what's coming in or out of our body. When somebody says it's got high fructose corn syrup, you don't know how much high fructose corn syrup is actually added into whatever container that is. It could be some crazy, insane level. And it doesn't take much to just throw everything completely bonkers and out of whack. But yeah, that's pretty much what I eat for the week. Some bacon here and there, some ham, some turkey, some chicken, pretty much meat. And I don't stray off that path very often. So I'm doing pretty good there. Now, I don't eat any breads or anything like that, except for in this one experiment. Let's get into that one. So this last Sunday, our Aka was in town. Aka is grandma here in Alaska. That's just a native word for grandma. Now, she was in town, and on her last day here, they went out and got Taco Bell, and I believe that was on Sunday of last week, the beginning of this week, and they got Taco Bell, and everybody sat at this table right here, and they all ate Taco Bell. I didn't want to partake in that. I went and got some different food here in the kitchen. I ate it real quick, and I bailed out into the bedroom to watch a movie for a little while. So after a while, I came back. Everybody was cleared out from the table, and there were some, leftover burritos. There were like 2 tacos you would get for a child, And I believe there was one bean burrito that were just left sitting here untouched. And I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking like, should I try that to see if it's going to do the same thing it did to me years ago? Now, the first experience I ever had with Taco Bell, we got Taco Bell came to Concord, New Hampshire, and it was the first time we ever experienced something like a Taco Bell, unless you were fortunate enough to travel around to other parts of the country, and then you got to try it that way. So it was new, and it was just this one little tiny store. I believe it was like attached to a gas station, but that was so many years ago. I can't remember, but it was a brand new location. It was a brand new store, and like any brand new restaurant in any town, it gets flooded with people, and I was one of those with my friends. Let's see. I went in there. I believe I got a couple different burritos, and then something else that was like kind of like a taco. At that time, they didn't have a very specific menu. It was like burrito, burrito supreme, bean burrito, and stuff like that. There wasn't a whole lot of selection at that time because Taco Bell was new to the neighborhood. It wasn't new to the entire country, but it was still getting up on its feet to the corporate mess that it's in right now, where they just keep creating these new things that aren't exactly healthy. But yeah, I ate a couple of those, and then I remember a day and a half or so later, it just came out, just boom. It was like almost like instant diarrhea. Like I couldn't control it. I was like, what in the world is going on here? And then for some reason, I don't know why, maybe because of the addiction to carbs and sugars and nonsense in the body, I just kept going on like it was food over time. The same thing happened with McDonald's over the years. We had Burger King and Carl's Jr. I've lost weight eating Carl's Jr., but as long as I just take off, the breads and stuff like that, I've had pretty good success with Carl's Jr.'s burgers, sauces, and whatever they throw on there. There's a lot of other options out there that just turn me upside down and backwards, inside out kind of stuff, and Taco Bell was one of them. So, yeah, I had one bean burrito. I had like some lettuce and some other stuff in there. I did eat the wrapper, so there's some carbs there. And then I had two of those tacos that were made for kids, and I ate those. And they weren't the hard tacos; they were the soft tacos. And I just wanted to see what that would make me do. Okay, that was very weird. That had Now, since I took everything else out of my body before in the little experiment I did the week prior. Now, it was basically a harmless experiment, which included mainly vegetables. So that didn't interfere with anything I was trying to figure out here, because now when I was losing weight, I noticed I didn't have the ability to sweat. I also had a lot of body odor. I had a lot of underfunk, the funk that grows up underneath the man boobs, behind the ears. I got an odor that comes from our crotch. I'm sorry, guys, we're just going to have to put it out there. Yeah, we got some funky stuff going on down there at times, especially when we eat garbage and we get garbage gut. So, foot odor, that was another thing. I had a lot of foot odor. My feet didn't smell good. In between my toes, didn't matter how many times I washed my feet, they did not smell good. They didn't smell good. And since I started carnivore, all of that stuff went away. It went away pretty quickly. Like within the first 30 days, like maybe just a little bit around that, either way. But I noticed I didn't have any BO, nothing at all. I'd go to work, I'd actually do physical labor, I'd come home and I'd be like, ooh, I don't stink. Now, another thing, an off-scale victory with carnivore, is that I got no bad breath anymore. I mean, it doesn't matter if I brush my teeth or don't brush my teeth. I didn't brush my teeth as soon as I got out of bed this morning. There's nothing there. It doesn't smell like anything putrid or something you'd roll over to and be like, oh, get out of my face, man. It doesn't smell like that. So, okay, what happened when I ate Taco Bell? That was, let's see, All right, 4 days after eating Taco Bell. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday was the first day that I noticed some noticeable body odor. And that was a day I wasn't doing hardly any physical activity. I'm just driving a dump truck. That's my job. I just drive a dump truck around in circles. But I came home and I had some actual body odor. It wasn't putrid, but it was noticeable. It was there. Another thing I noticed, I did have a little bit of odor coming from my feet. And of course, yes, the horrid, little scent of potential crotch odor there. So yeah, everything came back within 4 days. That's 4 days after eating garbage gut food. That's always been my term. You want to get garbage gut, you know how to do it. Just go out to a fast food place and just wreck it up. But yeah, so yeah, interesting. And the funny part about it was, is I was like odor free for months. I just for months. I just didn't have any body odor, didn't have any crazy scent. All right, so what is the next fast food experiment? Fast food experiment number 2 was is I tried, and this is on the carnivore plane, so it isn't enough. But I heard about McDonald's quarter pounder patties being used as an alternative. Now my son works at McDonald's, so I asked him. The first thing I did is sit down now. I said, "Son," I said, "you work there. What's the difference between the quarter pounder patties and the regular patties?" And he was honest. He's like, "Hey," but he's like, "there really shouldn't be a difference. But the quarter pounder patties, that was hard to say. I had to edit that a couple times. Quarter pounder patties. Yeah, that's a good one." But one thing he did say is that the quarter pounder patties actually looked healthier than the little patties. And he's like, he doesn't know why, or anything. He's a young kid. He just works there. And I was like, okay, so that's interesting. Technically, it's supposed to be made with the same exact meat. So I got 4 quarter pounder patties with cheese. Now I'm going to have to retry this experiment, and I'll probably start that this week sometime. But I got those with cheese, so I'm going to do that again this week without cheese and see how I feel. But pretty quickly after eating those, I did not feel good for a day or two. Now, I don't know why that is, because they literally just throw them on a grill. This is what he says. There's nothing really added to them. They just throw them on a grill and cook them. And if you don't want onions or anything added extra, they don't put it on there. If you don't, if you request it just like that with nothing on it, they'll just, cook the patties, toss some cheese on, stack them in a freaking box, and you got a greasy mess by the time you get home. I was definitely not feeling the greatest for 2 or 3 days. So we're going to try that one more time without cheese. It's still going to be on the carnivore plane. And yeah, try that out. Now, the week prior, last week, that was the week I lost 3.3 pounds. That was where I did an experiment because my wife made a big, giant, healthy salad. So in the past, salads have triggered me. And that's another thing, triggers. It's like, wow, okay. I wonder if it'll do that now, because I've been without salads for quite some time. I know I do have some food cravings, but I haven't sat down and had a salad. And then I was trying to figure out, okay, when I ate a salad in the past, it would trigger me almost automatically to go to the pantry, go to the fridge, start looking around for unhealthy snacks, unhealthy options. And I wanted to see, okay, what's this salad going to do to me? How am I going to feel after I eat the salad? Well, immediately after I ate that salad, and I don't know why, it's just one of those unconscious things. It comes along with addiction. Now, some of these triggers happen because of the addiction, and it's just unconscious brain function just, guiding us around saying, oh, you need this, you need that. Well, I typically tend to listen to my body, especially doing carnivore and trying to figure out what I need, what I might be missing, and stuff like that on the equation. So that's another trigger. Healthy triggers are possible too. So unhealthy triggers are definitely a thing. So I was in there. The first thing I did is I can't remember. It was like one of these unhealthy little Costco candies that come in a plastic tub. And I was like, I'm eating that. And I'm standing there like, did I just do that? Why did I just do that? And then I'm looking in the fridge for other options. I'm like, then I'm recognizing my brain's working now. I did get that little piece of sugar in me, but my brain started working. I started really thinking about the equation. I started, writing stuff down. I started taking notes on, okay, what are some of my other triggers? So salad did this to me. Okay, how did I feel after eating that salad? Well, I didn't feel too horribly bad. Now, the next couple of days, I noticed, actually the next day, the following day, exactly the day after I ate that salad, I started having some swelling. I was like, I just ate a salad. I mean, I haven't had any swelling or any inflammation or anything weird happening on carnivore unless I did something weird off the rails, like the Taco Bell thing. Yeah, I had a little bit of swelling there, but it was more likely the 5 days after. Now, I have a slow GI tract, so when I did do the Taco Bell experiment, I did have a unexpected explosion about 5 days afterwards, which is kind of a long time to try to relate back to something earlier in the week. So it's been hard to, this is another reason why it's been hard to focus on, what foods do what. So you got to take stuff out and then you got to add them in slowly. So I have to give myself at least, 5 to 7 days to do any type of food experiment or add anything in. And then I can't continuously just keep adding stuff on top. I can't just all of a sudden eat that nasty meal, and I can't just toss this in there and then toss one of these in there. Or, maybe what the heck is this even doing here? But yeah, stuff like this. And that's a no for me. That goes on the not food item list. But you see what I mean? You can't just keep stacking these little tiny, let's see if this works. Let's see if that works. How does this make me feel? Well, you can't just keep stacking all that stuff and trying to get good results, because you're going to get really, really confused results. You got to, take it out for a period of time and then slowly start adding it in. And when they say slowly, it's like one thing a week and then work on. But the inflammation, I'm sitting there trying to figure it out. I'm on my bed and I'm like, what in the world? Why are my feet swollen? I just took my boots off. I'm looking at my toes. They're all swollen. I'm just like, this sucks. I don't like that. And they're not really super swollen like MAID or freaking edema like it was before, when I first started this journey about 29 weeks ago. But it was annoying enough because it kind of hurt a little bit to stand up on the hardwood floor with my bare feet and then walk around and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, what did I get in that salad? I said, it just had lettuce. I didn't have any tomatoes in there. There were some onions in there. Onions have never given me inflammation before. Neither has lettuce. But lettuce has triggered other sugar-like cravings and carb-like cravings for me. So, yeah, weird. It's just lettuce. It's just like green leafy crap with not a whole lot of nutrition in there, and it's just water. It's just lettuce. Now, iceberg lettuce, romaine lettuce, doesn't really matter what type of lettuce. Spinach would even do it. But yeah, so I ran to the fridge and I'm like, all right, I put something on that salad, which is salad dressing. Now, I typically use like an Italian style dressing when I'm making my salads. And I flipped it over and I'm looking at the ingredients. I'm like, oh, it's got some ingredients in there that are inflammatory. So I was like, wow, just that right there. Now, the biggest problem with salads, especially when trying to get people to lose weight, be healthy, is that we tend to just smother them in a bucket load of freaking ranch dressing or whatever it is we're trying to use. I mean, we're talking, what we should be using is like teaspoons. If we're going to be doing salads at all, like 3 teaspoons, not teaspoons, tablespoons. We should be doing 3 tablespoons. If you're going to be using any dressings or any sauces or anything like that, you get much more over 3. You're really kind of pushing the limits of tossing yourself out of ketosis or just staying in, a lower level of ketosis. And I'm not too worried about 100% staying in ketosis all the time. Like I said, I think that going out of ketosis and coming back into ketosis is just part of the natural body. It just wants to work that way. But yeah, while I was doing that, I was trying to figure out, what other triggers I had. And I did find out that, certain things at work trigger me to want to do certain things, because I've been battling with nicotine. I've been battling with, using vapes and smoking cigarettes. And this last week, I have been bouncing back and forth in between smoking and vaping for one lame excuse or another. Like I say, it's all excuses why we keep our addictions around. One excuse is, oh, if I don't have it, I'm going to have a serious attitude. Another one is, my batteries are dead. I got to go buy a pack of cigarettes, or I ran out of this juice, which is what we put in the tanks here. So I got to go buy a pack of cigarettes to get me through the day. It is just an excuse for our lack of preparation and stuff like that. The same thing goes with food. Same thing goes with exercise and stuff like that. So we just need to balance out our poisons. And I say that quite a bit to my family. Now, a question my wife asked me, because she has started to want to experiment with the whole carnivore thing. And so she was, she had a lettuce wrapped burger, it had some onions and stuff on it. And she put her little sauce on there and she ate it down. It was good. And shortly after, she wanted to try a burger like I'm eating it. So she just had a burger on a plate. She put a little bit of sauce on it, and then she tasted it. And she's like, she had this weird epiphany. She's like, wow, that is really good. That's really good meat. Now, the meat I was using is those 80/20 grass-fed patties that you get at Costco for like $25 for a big package of them, and I think there's like 15 in the package. That's a good deal for, especially for Alaskans. I mean, I could fill the freezer with those and be just fine for a long time. Now the problem between 80/20 patties versus going out and buying those steaks is steaks have more vitamins and nutrients, so we're going to have to get our stuff somewhere else, and I have to like go searching for things. Like this is probably why I get some fruit cravings at times, because I know the body's missing something and it's going to go to its most known origin for certain things. Like watermelon, if you've actually done the research on watermelons, they have a ton of essential vitamins and nutrients in them, plus water. And I've never had a problem with watermelon. They don't create inflation. They don't take me out of, there's not so much sugar in there to take me out of ketosis. I can eat an entire personal size watermelon, one about this size. I can eat an entire thing and be just fine. Now, if I eat a banana or some apples, yeah, I'm going to plan on, okay, the next 2 to 3 days, I'm going to have to really buckle down and stay focused. And I'll get my body right back into the zone it needs to be in. But yeah, all in all, it's been a pretty interesting week. And I've been learning a lot, and I've been researching a lot of things. And some of these things are kind of embarrassing topics to talk about. So I'm going to maybe save those for a later video. And hopefully you found some use in this video. And if you did, as always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for my next upload. And I really do hope to see you